Greatness Personified, we're back. We got UFC 286 coming up next. Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman 3. This ain't really going to be a prediction video. It's more of a preview and a breakdown because some of these fights, they're too close to call. So it's more just like a commentary on. But let's take a look at the early prelims. We're just going to look at some of the fights that stand out the most to us. We have Juliana Miller making her official return.
One Ultimate Fighter. I actually betted against her because Brogan had all the experience. She won fights over people in the UFC, but she went and got the job done. Juliana should win this. I'm not going to bet against her no more, man. She should take this one. If I'm going to just be honest with you.
I know, but that minus 410 on your debut, that's a lot of pressure for somebody to have on them. Wait, so Juliana Miller is 3-1, but her record, she got more experience than you might think though, because look at her amateur record. I was checking it out, and so she got a lot of fights, and then the fights on the Ultimate Fighter. So low key, she got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. She really 12-1. So you can't really be deceived that you see 3-1 right here, and then Veronica has a record of 6-1. She's straight, but she coming off. Look at this. Several losses in the UFC. That's why they fed her to this, man.
Oh yeah, we got John Herbert versus Ludovic Klein. I'm gonna be honest with you, Ludovic, the way he fight, you might laugh at me, but he got some Rafael Fiziev in him, man. He throws one strike. You know, Fiziev throw like combination, man. And John Herbert, he find ways to lose. But Ludovic, man, he has a bunch of head kick knockouts on his record. Southpaw, dangerous.
He only got 2 losses in the UFC.
And look who he lost to.
Well, that's
Nate Landwehr, and he was winning that fight. He gassed out in the 3rd round. And Michael Trezano, when he's on, he's on.
Yeah.
Not like a lot of people be. Yeah, but honestly, I'm going to go with Ludovic on this one. John Herbert has the talent, but he find ways to lose.
He find ways to lose. Even when he fought Topuria, obviously we know what we know about him now. But Topuria took the fight on short notice, came up in weight class. John Herbert dropped him with a head kick. Everything you could imagine that you would think a fighter will come out on top and win. Every advantage you could possibly give a fighter. And he still found a way. And then even the Francisco fight was so odd, man. Just the way that fight went down. It just seemed like the way he lose, man.
And then his frame, he's so big for lightweight because he's a tall guy. So you would think he'd be going down in the weight class and knocking everybody out.
And he got the skill. And it's weird. I mean, his last win is coming off of Kyle Nelson, which, you know.
But yeah, we don't count that, man. Kyle, man.
So then we got Jennifer Maia and Casey O'Neill.
And when I first saw this, I was going with Jennifer Maia, especially her last fight against Marina. But I went and looked at Casey O'Neill's record and her fights. I'm going to have to change my mind. I'm going to have to go with Casey O'Neill on this one. I don't think she can finish Jennifer Maia, but she definitely can take her down and dominate her.
But it's the thing, though. She's looking good. She's looking impressive. But I'm looking at the wins. I'm looking at the quality of the wins. Shayna Dobson, you already know what you're getting with that one. This is a solid one, you know, but I'm looking at Shevchenko, and I'll talk about the sister now.
Yeah.
Antonina, man, you never know what you're gonna get with Shevchenko, and then Roxanne Modafferi. It's like, come on, man, you're supposed to look impressive. And
I thought about that too, but then I looked at how many losses Jennifer Maia has. She ain't undefeated or nothing, man. She loses to a certain caliber of opponents.
Yeah.
You know, the question is Casey that caliber? And I think she is.
That's what the fight gonna determine. Then we got Jake Hadley fighting Malcolm Gordon.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Malcolm one of them guys you don't really bet against. Because he can go out there and embarrass somebody. He also can go out there and get embarrassed himself.
Well, he can also go out there and just get a little decision as well. And sometimes we've seen Jake spend a lot of time on his back. He got submissions and he got good hands. But we've seen him in certain scrambles where sometimes he end up on his back a little bit too long.
He give up dominant positions.
Yeah, and granted, technically, it was really Allen Nascimento that did that. And I think he took that fight on short notice. But still, in other fights, like his last fight, he won by a triangle choke. It's like, man, I don't really like to see that. But he's winning most of these fights, and so I'm expecting him to look impressive at the very least. Then we got Dusko Todorovic. I'm not necessarily super excited for that fight.
CLD, Christian Leroy Duncan, dog, flying knees, spinning back fist. Like, he's one of them guys, like, he's a dark horse. Like, he's one of them guys that people are sleeping on, but he's real good. Like, I know he doesn't have a fight in the UFC, but he's one of them guys that he's going to rack up some wins, in my opinion.
Okay.
And I see him winning. If I'm going to be honest, I know Dusko is a veteran. I mean, beating Jordan Wright is...
And I saw that, and I was like, yeah. And then, man, we got somebody here, Muhammad Makhachev. Look, we already know what to expect in this fight. This is my thing. Now, this guy does have a lot of submissions. Rafael Cavalcante Field.
Don't have enough.
But the thing is, unfortunately, he's fighting somebody who got the wrestling to be able to stifle him. And this will be another video. I don't want to go on a tangent here. This is just a preview. But, man, Muhammad has been impressive and not impressive at the same time. He's been impressive because he's been dominant, but it's been unimpressive because none of the wins are memorable. And I think he got about 4 of them now at this point.
Yeah, the only one memorable is when he finished Cody Durden.
3.
He submitted him.
This will be the 4th. It is like, So, I mean, we know what's going to happen in this fight, but Then Sam Peters.
But Sam, he's 6'4", man. He's a big guy in the lightweight division, man. Like, I mean, his striking ain't the best. He can find ways to finish fights some kind of way.
Yeah.
He can knock people out. He can submit people, man.
4 KOs, 5 submissions.
If he can just tighten up, you need to watch Ian Garrett's striking. Because they got similar frames.
I see he got that nickname that Eon had at the beginning.
Yeah, so like if he can tighten up his striking and move his head a little bit more, I got high hopes for Sam. I got high hopes. I'm not saying he's gonna be in the top 10 or anything, but
hey, dude,
I
nice
think
too, man. Getting all osmos, man. This I'm looking at this record. I'm like, hey, dude, kind of nice with it now.
But until you prove yourself in the UFC,
UFC, yeah,
we don't know it.
That's fair. So that'll be a good one. Then we got Jack Shore and Makwan Amirkhani. Jack Shore coming up in weight to featherweight since he got beat by Ricky Simone.
Yeah.
And I don't think you should go up in weight just because you got beat by Ricky Simone. Ricky is on one right now. He's one of those bantamweights where he kind of had a few losses and now he's going on that big win streak. Like we just talked about it, he's been cleaning things up. I don't think that you should just go up in featherweight, but they gave him a winnable fight.
But we were just talking about Nathaniel Wood. He can go up to featherweight division because he has striking. The problem, because when I first saw this, I was like, Jack, easy win. Jack not really a striker like that, man. You know what I mean?
He only uses enough striking to be able to close the distance to get his wrestling. But the thing is, he's going to outwork Makwan at the end of the day. Even if you take skills out of it.
Can he make it past that first round, though?
100%. 100%. Makwan, a lot of people seem to be able to make it past the first round.
Jonathan Pierce?
Dude, Jonathan.
Hold on. Who made it past the first round? These guys, Edson, LaRon, Jonathan Pierce. These are some...
Shane Burgos. Arnold Allen.
Kamala Kirk.
Nah, he lost to killers. Nah, dude, Makwan lost to straight killers.
It's hard to bet on Makwan, man, because mentally
hit or miss. And then it's so odd because his real weakness is the cardio. I don't know what the reason for that is, but the skill-wise, the skills are there. He got enough striking.
Yeah.
Obviously, everything can be improved on. Obviously, the grappling and the submissions are there. It's the cardio. He was done after the first round of the Jonathan Pierce fight. Did you notice that? I mean, the first round wasn't even done, and he was done. So then we got Chris Duncan, Omar Morales. How you feel about that one?
Chris Duncan and Omar Morales. I'm excited, but not excited about this fight at the same time. But the thing is with Chris Duncan, we know what Chris is known for. He was on The Contender. He got hurt against Charlie Campbell, and he came back and landed a Hail Mary right hand and knocked him out. And that's the one where Dana White was going crazy on. And it made him look good and bad at the same time.
No, that's the one where he threw the...
He backed up and threw the right Hail Mary.
Yeah, right. The one that... Yeah, I remember that night. Hey.
But that's what me and you debated on because I was like, bro, he got way too many knockouts for it to be lucky. Because he has 7 knockouts.
Oh, yeah. Chris Duncan. Yeah.
But the thing is, man, I'm going to be honest, man. I'm not really a big fan of Omar like that, man. How many knockout losses do Omar have?
Just one. But he lost a decision to Giga. That says a lot. And he got submitted by Jonathan. How you go a decision to Giga then? Anyway. But one thing I could tell by this record, that they setting this fight up for Chris Duncan to get a win.
Yeah,
it's plain as day. When you look at those last 4 or 5 fights and you see too much red like this, that lets you know.
I can't make a prediction for this. I want to see a little bit more fights from Chris Duncan to see like how good he is all around.
Yeah, because that last punch that he threw when he kind of grabbed the cage, is that the one where he was kind of getting hurt and then he was up against the cage and then he just threw that Hail Mary right hand and put him down? Yeah, but still, he got a bunch of knockouts, man. So
I'm gonna go with Chris,
to be fair,
not high confident at all.
So now we got LaRon Murphy and Gabriel Santos. Gabriel is stepping up on short notice, but originally it was supposed to be LaRon Murphy versus Nathaniel Wood, which I thought that was gonna be a fantastic fight. I was so looking forward to that fight. But god dang. But anyway, we get a good fight, man.
Hey, LaRon, he fights like he's in the video game, man.
Like a creative character.
Yeah, it's like he does so much, man. Like, he's not one-dimensional at all. He's good and great. He kind of
like a Leon Edwards. Yeah,
because you know how Leon, he's a striker, but he developed to be a grappler, too.
And I was looking at Leon record last night. Leon never been finished.
Leon
Edwards. Never been finished.
Not even when he was younger?
No submissions, no knockout losses. We're going to talk about it. But this guy reminds me of him. Man, that knockout, that knee he did on Makwan, man. Wait a minute, why was he fighting Douglas? Oh, yeah, okay.
It's like he got a little bit of Terrence McKinney in him. He got the power, but then he got the technique like Leon Edwards. But then he could take people down and ground and pound them. I think that's his best part of his game. Because when he took down Ricardo, you remember I said Ricardo Ramos overrated striking? This was the fight where I was like, yeah, he got exposed.
And then
against LaRon.
And he just missed weight by 8 pounds yesterday.
Oh, God. Dang, he need Makwan.
Yeah, remember that flying knee knockout? It went viral as soon as he did it.
Gabriel, man, he has no shot in this one. I'm not really too impressed. If I'm going to just be honest, from the fights I saw,
Yeah.
he's not a bad fighter. But yeah, this is easy one.
The record ain't looking bad though.
Oh, he undefeated, but it's like, man,
I'm talking about the people he fought is straight. Like they got 12 or 13 wins and only 2 losses.
I think LeBron could beat all these guys at the same night.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. Look, the people that I've seen so far in his record, all of them got 13 or 14 wins at least. So he's straight. But I'm expecting LeBron to win just because he was supposed to fight Nathaniel Wood. So you know he's prepared. Now here we go. Now you talk about 2 crazy fan bases, 2 low-key crazy fan bases. They not as well known as the Islam Makhachev or the Khabibs or the Connors, but Marvin Vettori fans and Roman Dolidze fans are something else.
They got countries behind them.
Hey, this is a sick fight though, because hey, I was looking at Marvin record. You know, Marvin got 4 losses in the UFC, but 2 of them come to Izzy. So technically, he only lost to Robert, Izzy.
Who's the third person?
Antonio Carlos Jr. Didn't he win Ultimate Fighter Brazil or something?
Yeah, that big dude be taking that right back and redneck and choking.
Yeah, and this was in 2016 when he was on one.
Prime.
Yeah, he was doing
that's a big, strong Brazilian.
So it's like, other than that, man, Marvin ain't really been losing. Like talking about,
what's it called, dude? This is the irresistible force
versus an immovable object.
Yeah, because one guy is hard to finish, Marvin Vettori, and if Paulo could knock him out, I don't think nobody can knock him out.
Yeah.
But then you got Roman, who some kind of way he can start off losing, but he can always find the finish, especially in the second and third round.
And especially if that fight hit the ground. But see, that's the thing. I think Marvin can keep the fight standing up, because I don't see Roman just taking Marvin down.
No.
But I'm gonna tell you this. You know, sometimes Marvin wrestling look real good, and then sometimes he don't
sloppy.
But to be fair, the only people he didn't really take down was the people Robert and Izzy.
And they got some of the best takedown defense in UFC history.
And they're the 2 former champions. So I think that Marvin for sure could take Roman down. And I think that he can fight safe enough to avoid being finished, especially because Roman kind of showed his hand and his card with these last few wins. They were very good, impressive comeback wins. But at the same time, he kind of showed that, okay, I'm super dangerous on the ground. Remember how Anthony Pettis was real dangerous on the ground and Rafael dos Anjos, and people start fighting him a certain type of way, where it's like you kind of smother them up against the cage. You don't really just sit in their guard and play in the open space. You just kind of press them up against the cage, take them down, and you kind of sit them up against the cage right there. I can see Marvin doing that, because you know Marvin like to walk you down and press you up against the cage anyway.
I don't think he'll do that. I think he'll take the approach he had when he fought against Jack. He used his boxing. He uses his footwork and his boxing to really outbox him. I think, because the thing is, if I'm Marvin, I want to avoid that ground. I don't want to give Roman no chance. Because on the feet, Jack was putting hands on him.
And I'm going to be...
And then if I'm going to just be real, I think you said it after this fight happened, after Roman beat Jack. You said it. I think Roman, after he knocked him out, like, he kind of was... He got up, but he was tired. It was like, hold on, was Roman almost... I'm not going to say he was about to give up, but it almost looked like he was done.
But to be fair, he took that fight on like a week's notice too, so that kind of plays into that.
I think the thing is, Marvin, the way to beat Marvin is to kind of outwork him a little bit, frustrate him. Izzy and Robert, they outworked,
and they did it on the feet.
And Roman, he don't have that style. He's a low output striker, man. He throw one strike at a time. I don't think he's gonna land it. He might hurt Marvin, but I don't think he can knock Marvin out, man. So I think this is an easy win for Marvin. And if I'm gonna just be real, I think that Jack dropped the ball. I think, because we made a show about this, and we said Roman Dolidze is a tier below Jack. And yeah, he won the fight or whatever, but I think that Marvin is a tier above Roman. And I think that Marvin is not going to lose to somebody like Roman. I don't think Marvin's going to lose to Roman, man. I think it's different levels. Roman will never fight Israel. I hate to say this, man, but it's just different levels to this game. I love Roman. I love his heart. He probably got some of the most heart in the UFC. But when we talking about winning fights and getting in the top 10, I don't think so, man. And then the top 10 in the middleweight division, it's tough.
For like top 5.
Huh?
I think Marvin in top 5 here.
Exactly. And then Marvin coming off, then he come off a loss to Robert.
Yeah.
Man, no, ain't no way in hell Marvin loses this fight, man. If he gonna put together a game plan, he gonna board the ground.
And I saw some training footage on Twitter of Marvin with like a Muay Thai coach, and I was like, man, Marvin's striking looked really, really good. And Jack striking looked really, really good against Roman. I would say this though, no matter what we say good about Marvin, it's so odd because the way Roman been winning these fights. Now I know there's a difference in the fight IQ between Phil Hawes and Marvin Vettori.
Yeah.
But then the Jack fight was crazy because it's like Jack on the ground is that guy, and for him to get caught like that, it ain't the fact that he beat him, it's how he beat him.
And that's what I was
because
thinking.
That's how Jack beat people.
And that's what I was thinking. Marvin, he might have to finish Roman.
How he gonna do that?
With the hands. He gonna have to knock him out, man. He normally don't get aggressive at all, Marvin. That's what I was saying. Marvin might have to finish Roman to win this fight, because Roman, he one of the type guys, if he's still around, he always has a chance in the second round, in the third round. So if Marvin go out there and say in the third round he started to get desperate and get sloppy,
but Marvin don't fight. He ain't gonna do that because the only times we seen Marvin look like that was really against Izzy, and Izzy fight everybody like that. You can't put that what Izzy did to Marvin in the playbook for like what Roman can do because they striking is totally different. It's gonna be interesting, man, because obviously you cannot count Roman out. We know that, but Marvin at this point he only lost to a certain caliber of fighter. I've learned to not ever count.
I think Marvin definitely is gonna outclass him, man. It's not, it might not be bad. It might be close. But it might be like how Robert outclassed him.
Yeah, is it? But again, not counting out Roman. But then we got Gunnar, Nelson, and Bryan Barberena. We ain't gonna spend too much time on this one because Gunnar coming back after a long layoff.
He fought recently.
Well, yeah, well,
his fight before that, he was out for like 3 years.
Yeah, the fight before this one. I was looking at the losses, man.
Oh God,
man, what happened to Albert Tumanov? Anyway, that's another story.
He didn't have no jiu-jitsu defense.
Shoot, that's another story. But
I'm gonna tell you this: another person who ain't got no jiu-jitsu defense is Bryan.
Dude, look at who Gunnar lost to: Rick Story in 2014, when he was on one. Damian Maia in 2015. Santiago, Leon, and Gilbert. It's like, come on, man.
Hey, and let's talk about the Leon fight, man. He hurt Leon in the third round. He almost won. That fight probably should have been a draw, if I'm gonna just be real. Because he hurt Leon in the third round. He probably could have got a 10-8 and it could have been a draw. And then even against Gilbert Burns, man. Like, I love Gilbert Burns, but that fight was close. It looked like you could argue that Gunnar won that fight, man. He had moments. He actually out-grappled Gilbert Burns and controlled him. And controlled him longer than Gilbert controlled him on the ground. The only thing is Gunnar, man, he don't get rewarded because of the way he fight. He got the karate style, and he kind of, sometimes he can be inactive. Doesn't make sense. Yeah. He can go a long period just being inactive, and it's like, bro, like sometimes it might work against him.
I'm going to say this, man. Bryan, he got taken down and neck cranked by a lightweight.
I know, man.
And that fight was short notice for who? Was it, did Rafi take that fight on short notice? But I think it might have been Bryan, actually.
He got taken down from the beginning.
So I'm not going to make a prediction for this one, but I definitely think it's interesting. Obviously, he's trying to get back.
If I had to put money on this, I'll put it on Gunnar. He's not going to fight.
But you can never count Bryan.
But the thing is, like, he's not Robert Lawyer. Gunnar is not Robert Lawyer. He's going to fight his type of fight. And that's why I'm more confident that Gunnar can win this one.
And Gunnar a little bit more consistent. And then we got Joanne Wood and Luana Carolina. How you feel about this?
Both of these fighters been on other fighters' records. Because even Joanne,
she got 8 losses, man.
We've done prediction videos when we seen Joanne on there. The thing is, Luana, I want to look at some of her fights. She's actually real good.
She's 8-3, so for a women's fighter, 8-3 is really good.
Like, she has a crazy jab. Leg kicks, body kicks. Like, she's real solid.
But, you know, this is so odd. 2 of the most memorable finishes in the history of women's MMA, she was on the receiving end of them. That knee bar from Ariane Lipsky, remember?
Yeah.
That went viral, and then the first spinning back elbow from Molly.
And you know what's weird? Who fights like that? Joanne. Spinning kicks.
But Joanne. But and you go back and look at Joanne's losses, though. She never lost to nobody. Sorry. Look.
She never been knocked out either.
Alexa Grasso, champion. Tyler Santos, arguably should have been champion.
You know, she was outstriking Alexa, too, before Alexa submitted her. She was outstriking her bad.
Lauren Murphy. Well, that's, you know. Jennifer Meyer fought for the title. Caitlin Chikagian should be, at some point in the future, fight. So it's like, man, she don't really just lose to anybody. But is Luana that tier of fighter that can beat her? That's the question.
Honestly, this is a weird one, man. We got the technique of Luana versus the kicking of Joanne. I ain't no point of going too hard on this one.
Yeah.
I guess I just enjoy it because I think it's going to be a good fight.
Yeah, I'm expecting a good one.
And the last thing I'm going to say about this, why is this fight after the Marvin fight? That's one thing I had to say about that, man. I had to say this shit. They're not even top 10.
I was looking at, she's from Scotland. Maybe that's why.
Oh, yeah, it's probably.
But I don't understand. It's other European fighters on this card, too. Like, why is Jack Shore not on the main card over Joanne Wood? I just don't understand. Jake Hadley, he's making waves in the division. I just don't understand what that is.
It's weird.
I understand why they can't put Muhammad up there because he's born.
Oh, absolutely not.
But why is this fight above Marvin Vettori? Marvin Vettori just fought Robert Whitaker.
Even Gunnar Nelson and them. It's like, this is so weird.
I just don't understand, man. They have to sandwich these type of fights. This is a prelim fight. This is an early prelim fight. You really start the card off with this one. If I'm going to be real, I know they started off with Juliana Miller, but she your ultimate fighter. You could promote her. Joanne been in the UFC for a while and haven't really made a dent. So I don't understand why she's been promoted over even Juliana and them. Or even Jennifer Maia and Casey O'Neill, for that matter. If I'm looking at those fights, I'm looking at this fight, Jennifer Maia and Casey O'Neill should be here, but whatever. But then we got Justin Gaethje and Rafael Fiziev. If I'm not mistaken, when I go here, I saw people voting on this fight, and I was just looking at, you know what's so odd? On other places where people were voting on who was going to win, it was like 60% Gaethje, and 30-something%.
I think we did
Fiziev.
one. I think we did one on our channel. I think it was 60% Gaethje, 40% Fiziev.
It's the opposite, but then on Tapology, it's a little different. But this is a sick fight. When you look at Justin's record, he went through a span where he lost 2 in a row, and that was against Eddie, and that was against Dustin Poirier. Then he went on a win streak, and then he lost to like Khabib. He won a fight or two. Then he lost to Charles. Justin Gaethje has only lost to the top fighters ever in the division.
But if you look at it, man, I hate to say this, but Tony don't have the highest fight IQ, man. Like, he fights with hands down. There's a lot of openness.
That wasn't a loss, though. I was just looking at his losses.
Yeah.
That wasn't a loss. I'm talking about the people that he lost to: Charles Oliveira, Khabib, Dustin Poirier, and Eddie Alvarez. That's his only losses. Because I was like, man, Justin only got 4 losses. It just seemed like he been in all these wars. It seemed like it would be more, but that ain't the case. But he fighting that Rafael Fiziev, who, I'm going to be honest with you, man, I think Rafael finna go to work on him.
But that's what I was saying. But if you look at the people who he beat too, like Tony Ferguson, he doesn't have the highest fight IQ, even at the time, man. Like, I know he had won a bunch of fights in a row and stuff, man. But he fight with his hands down, man. Like, Tony, he baits on people getting tired and stuff. And then also, the one that stands out is the Michael Chandler one. So I'm saying you beat Michael Chandler and Tony. Rafael Fiziev is not neither one of those guys.
And Rafael Fiziev seems to be a hard person to hit. He's such a good striker. He can do a lot of damage while receiving minimal damage. He's just a clean, good fighter. Now, don't get me wrong. Justin should be the favorite here. Make no mistake about it, because this is a fight where Rafael has to prove that he's on the next level. His competition was steadily rising up here, you know.
Yeah.
And then his toughest fight obviously was Rafael dos Anjos, but he passed that test with flying colors. And so Justin, sometimes with these Justin Gaethjes and these Dustin Poiriers and Michael Chandlers, they beat each other, and then when they fight other people and they beat the dog piss out of them, and then we're reminded why they at the top when they only fight each other, because other people can't seem to beat them. And that could easily be the case here. Justin can go out there and put in work. I like the way that Rafael
put in what work?
Huh?
Put in what work? What can you do to Rafael? Duck and throw a left hook.
But that seems to work.
Against Michael Chandler, against Tony Ferguson.
I mean, I understand, but I'm saying Justin is at the top here.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this is a mountain for Rafael to climb.
Yeah.
Justin only got to do what he's been doing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If Justin has been doing the win, is it going to be enough to beat Rafael? Or is it going to be something that Rafael can easily avoid? Because that duck in your head, just throwing left and right hooks, I don't think you're going to hit Rafael Fiziev with none of that.
And I think at the very least, Rafael can win a decision just by outpointing him fighting the same.
Because Rafael, he going to throw leg kicks. He going to mix it up, go to the body. You remember how he did Moicano? Obviously, that's different striking, man. But you remember how he went to the body and just mixed it up? The leg kicks, it was just too much.
And we fought Brad Riddell. They both went in the pocket. He found the outside.
But now, don't fight Justin Gaethje in the pocket now. I ain't saying that. Do not fight him in the pocket.
Yeah, don't do that.
Fight him on the outside. Because you know, from the outside, Justin, he's just going to use that leg kick. But Rafael got leg kicks, and he got spinning attacks. This is going to be a sick fight. But I'm going to tell you one thing that Justin got. Justin going to push a pace. And sometimes when people are better than him, like skill-wise, he can push a heavy pace on them, and he can break them. And then they can start to fade down the stretch. And then Justin can take over. And then, even though it might not be the cleanest technique, it'll work, man. Remember how he did Michael Johnson?
I think Justin gonna lose, and I want him to lose.
Why would you want him to lose?
I mean, honestly, I'm gonna just be honest.
Sound personal.
No, it's just what happened with
the Charles Oliveira.
The Charles Oliveira one, man, when he was acting like he was really gonna be the champion if he would have beat Charles. And also, it's not nothing personal with Justin. It's just he can't beat Islam. Let's just be real, man.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You want somebody to win who could actually go on and contend.
I'm tired of these guys in top 5 beating these other guys outside top 5, but then you get to the champion, you losing.
And then now we got a cycle of people who all keep losing at a certain level. At some point, you just get kind of tired of seeing them fight for the belt.
Yeah.
Now, it'd be different if somebody other than Islam was the champion. Then I might be like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I would like to see Justin fight for the belt. You know, if it was going to be a rematch with Dustin or something to that effect. But against Islam, we know how that fight going to go. But then we get to the main event. We got Leon and Kamaru running that thing back for the 3rd time. The first time Kamaru got the decision, and it was a very safe decision. It was one of those fights where Kamaru was just stronger, and the little bit of time they had exchanges on the feet, Kamaru was like, yeah, let me go ahead and just grapple this guy, and it worked.
I think Leon getting a knockout win over Kamaru Usman via head kick, it actually can hurt Leon Edwards. Because
he might start headhunting this fight,
not even
and the time could go by, he could lose a decision.
That too, but also now Kamaru knows he has to be on the inside. You know what I mean? So now it's like, okay, now Kamaru not going to take no chances in this fight. Kamaru going to be on him like glue.
he gonna be on him like he did Tyron Woodley.
Yeah, man. And then Leon, he's nice with the hands too, but Leon needs distance. He gotta be on the outside.
And the thing,
he get shots on the inside. Kamaru actually was outstriking him on
but
the inside.
he was outstriking him on the inside because Leon had to worry about takedowns. You don't want to start saying, "Oh, Kamaru, he's striking with me," and then you start exchanging real close, and then you taking down.
And what was that? His trainer said, I think it was between either the 4th round or the 5th round. He said you can stand up with him, you don't have to take him down. And it was weird because like, why don't you tell him that report then you win this decision?
It looked like Kamaru finna be 36 coming up here pretty soon.
And that's what I was gonna say. I think this might be Kamaru's last fight in the UFC. I think honestly, especially if you win, I think he's looking at this like, bro, I'm gonna leave like
on top.
Habib did while I'm on top. I got movies, I got other stuff I got, man, to make money. And another thing is Kamaru's knees and stuff, man.
Man, what is up with them talking about he got to walk on grass and he can't walk on concrete? He got to walk backwards on the stairs. Why would you tell people that? Because now if I'm Leon Edwards, I'm definitely attacking the legs.
And I think the only reason he would say that is because he's about to retire real soon. So it's easy for you to come out and kind of say certain things and admit it when you know, okay, I got one more fight. And he probably feel like he can say it before Leon. I don't know why, man, but it's weird because Leon can throw leg kicks, man. But it's kind of...
And I know that Leon would have to worry about the takedowns, but there was a point in time where Leon out-grappled Kamaru. And when you start thinking about grappling, you still need to use your legs to grapple. So if I know you got bad knees, that actually helps me. I can actually throw the leg kicks and attack the legs. And it actually helps me in the grappling as well because...
I got a question, man. If Kamaru win this fight, do you think it'll make the second fight look like a fluke? You think it'll make the knockout
not necessarily because Leon is always dangerous. That's why Kamaru fought the way he did the first time. Because even in those few exchanges they had on the feet, Leon was getting them, and Kamaru was like, nah, let me get this fight to the ground. It wouldn't show it was a fluke. It would show what we all know. Leon is dangerous on the feet. But one thing is, dude, Leon has been rocked a few times, so Leon still has to be careful, man, because Kamaru, just because he got knocked out in his last fight, if he lands the way he did on Jorge Masvidal, and we seen Leon get rocked by Gunnar, we seen him get rocked by Nate, so we can't act like
Bryan, Barberena.
I think you mentioned that earlier. So Leon still has to be careful, but his name Rocky for a reason, man. And then one thing is they're gonna be fighting. Where's this card at? The O2 Arena. It's gonna be a lot of support. It's gonna be crazy, man. If you think they were shouting for Patty to Batty against Jordan Levitt, can you imagine?
And what if Leon go out there and lose 50-45? Wouldn't it be sad?
I don't know if that would happen. Now, Kamaru can make it real boring because at the end of the day, it's about winning. And winning, it don't have to be exciting.
Would it affect his legacy if he go out there and fight like that?
No, because it would just show that he rebounded and, he didn't let it happen again. The difference is when they go into that 5th round, it's going to be a lot of pressure on Kamaru. If this fight goes to the 5th round, people are going to be standing up, cheering. It's going to be crazy. He might go in there and get knocked out again in the 5th round.
So, man, I don't think it'll happen again.
I don't know, man. It's crazy, man, because Kamaru worked hard to get here, and we already know what to expect from Kamaru. But Leon, it's funny because as much as people count him out, he's never been finished. Ever. He's won a bunch of these fights, man. Look, Albert Tumanov at the time, he was rising up through the ranks, man. Donald Cerrone, he kind of caught Donald right before he went and slipped off to that little streak that he went on. Gunnar Nelson at the time was supposed to be the next guy. Rafael dos Anjos at the time, he was kind of in between weight classes. But for some reason, Leon just keep winning these fights, man. It's hard to count him out. But I don't really have a prediction for this fight, man, because I'm just going to wait and see what happens. But what you think? What's the final thing you got to say about this?
Easy call, man. Usman. I think Usman gonna dominate him for 5 rounds. He's gonna have to because he might get knocked out again, and he's definitely coming off a knockout loss. So I mean, obviously, like go out there.
Is it too soon to be coming back after that? Because it was brutal, and now you fighting him in his hometown, in his home country. It's a lot, man.
And another thing is, do Leon favor against other welterweights, man? Like the Kobe, I don't think he favors against them. I would rather see Usman win and fight the Kobe's and.
But he might retire after this. I don't even know if he's fighting after this.
That's true. Then it'd be Leon fighting one of them for the belt.
Because Leon gonna end up fighting one of them for the belt anyway. It's a lot at stake here, y'all. It's a lot at stake here. I don't have no top prediction for this one because it's just too much on the line and it's too many variables, man. Because you got to factor in the fact that Kamaru fought a certain way the first fight because of what he knew could happen, which actually ended up happening in the second fight.
Yeah.
And so now the third fight, Leon could go out there really confident, and he might beat the dog piss out of Kamaru for a fight. He might beat him down, and like Kamaru could just really wrestle him down.
And it looked like Usman, the pressure he's putting on Leon was kind of getting to him too. It looked like he kind of not breaking.
It did look like he did break him a little bit,
but it looked like Leon was kind of like, man, I'm tired. Because even before the 5th round, he was in the corner. He was like tired, like, dang, man, I don't know if I got any more left in me. But yeah, I'm gonna go Usman on this one, man.
Yeah,
we need y'all to like this video, subscribe, leave a comment.